right? Because you have these sense of fear. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? Then for Sushant has an inherent tenacity or knack to overcome it over the course of his life, or whatever we know of him. Which is why we find this person to be interesting to make a film that share this thought and an idea in the larger public that material requirements are not the only thing that is real, but there's something larger than that which is real. And we seem to be following that, which is why we find this whole journey to be interesting. So we want to discover or dig deeper in that aspect of what's happening and why is it happening in his life. And the more it comes out in a form of conversation, the more audience gets to deduct, because we don't want him to stand in front of camera and just talk about his philosophy. That becomes very not so interesting. So we want the audience to deduct it out of a conversation where they know half the information, the rest they may need to construct. So forget about us. We are not present. The camera is not present. The audio is not present. We are not lighting the place up. We just keep it as natural as somebody you met as a traveler, and that's the conversation.
Right. So you would like me to be asking questions or
whatever.
Just a curiosity.
Whatever is your curiosity, like I said.
Very frequent. The thing is that it is an analogy.
Yes.
You have to take extraordinary steps to climb mountain or whatever.
Yes.
And we all have those inner mountains within us, fear, prejudices, apprehensions, ambitions, and which is just stopping us from climbing it. So how to climb those inner areas?
Okay.
हर किसी की अपनी लड़ाई है, वो हर किसी की बड़ी यूनिक है.
As somebody, so there are two things there. One is what you were saying about how spirituality is something that is lived and practiced and has to be experienced, right? And so for me as an individual, this is really important. That it's not about, wearing a certain dress or showing that you are religious or whatever else. It's your own journey, it's your own path. It has to be lived out. So that is something I resonate with. I'm curious to know how this movement of surrender or faith has played out in the way that you've tested yourself. So people in ordinary life, we are tested in our day-to-day circumstances and situations. You are putting yourself out in extreme situations, which most people are not going to. I don't think I have ever experienced cycling alone in the middle of a desert. I don't think that I would ever do that. So I'm curious to know how does that play a role in your is it something that you have experienced or lived, or is there something you want to share around faith? Because to me that interests me as a person.
So the thing is that there is this beautiful poem by Aurodhan Art Gallery. Actually, I'm forgetting the lines, and he says that don't ask me, that I may not ask for shelter, but give me strength to face my fears. And that has somehow. I never asked for help. मैं फंस गया, बहुत हालत खराब हो रही है, और कुछ तो कर दो. एक दो बार ऐसी सिचुएशन हुई. But the thing is that I just let myself loose because I really want to test. Now the thing is that we do not understand theory of relativity. E is equals to mc square. Most of the guys, we do. But we know that as a principle, it is absolutely correct. You apply theory of relativity, and the results you get will be right, even if you do not want to believe them. Even Einstein could not reconcile with black holes because that singularity was one of the product of theory of relativity. And no matter how much people try to convince him, he was not ready to. So same way, there are certain principles which hold true. So I have great faith in Vivekananda and Ramakrishna and Paramahansa and Aurodhan. So there are certain principles which I cannot understand, but I know they should work. They will work because some great man has said. But you need to verify that great man. It should not be some Asaram or Ram Rahim, those jazzy babas. Because we have very limited intellect. We cannot, by logic, we cannot come to a conclusion where this great man have already arrived.
Yes.
So we have to take certain things as facts and apply them to our lives and see whether they bear results or not. The problem with our lives is that, unlike scientific experiments, we cannot have guinea pigs. We have to be our own guinea pig.
We are the guinea pigs. Yes.
Because we may undergo the same experience and you may find it extremely screwy and will never go back. And I may enjoy it and vice versa. So we, different experiences experiences means different things to different people, and we have to find our own experiences and our own story. So that's why I never rely on other people's judgment. Oh, this is man, don't try. This is very beautiful. Don't you do that? Because it is their derived experiences
Correct.
or lessons. It is not for me. So I have always believed in those gospel truths which I read earlier, and I try to put myself whether I'm really afraid. If I'm in the middle of the desert, उन्होंने बोला मैंने नहीं कभी हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ी, मैंने नहीं कभी उसको बोला, and I really tried myself whether I'm really enjoying this or whether I really enjoyed it. Thousands of people told me don't go to Africa. You know, people are bad, there are wild animals and
Dangers.
stuff like that, innumerable dangers, but it turned out to be the most beautiful experience of my life. And the thing is that the thing you asked, it is not about the troubles when I asked for help and something happened. It's about how people helped me out of nowhere. I mean, if I start narrating the coincidences that have happened in my life, it's mind-boggling, like something that is happening right now.
Yeah.
I mean, these things have stopped surprising me actually, because it has happened.
It's beautiful, yeah.
It's just a small story that I was in Victoria Falls, Zambia, and I was crossing over to Botswana the next day, and I camped next to Victoria Falls, and overnight it was a camping ground because the wild camping or there were a lot of, because it's a touristic place, so you can't wild camp. Otherwise, I always wild camp. I've never paid. So these guys, they must have come in the night, and they had come from South Africa, and their vintage vehicles, 1970-60 Volkswagen, and these guys, I mean, they are millionaires and they have a lot of money, so they have these vintage vehicles and they travel around Africa and go back. And they must have come in the night. I was sleeping, and when I was packing my cycle in the morning, this guy comes over and just starts having a chat, and he says that he himself was a cyclist, so he was really interested in what I'm doing, and he was mighty happy, thrilled, and he asked me what route I'm taking, and I showed him the route, and he has driven up the same way. So okay, he said that whenever you come to South Africa, you live in Cape Town, you just give me a call, we can chat about something. If you like it. I said, okay. So fast forward 3 months, I was going to the lowest tip of Africa, Cape Agalas. And I reached there and the weather turned extremely nasty. It was 70 kilometers per hour gust in opposite direction from Cape Town. Cape Agalas is
And
there.
you were cycling.
And I was cycling.
Wow.
So I got stuck here, and the wind was from Cape Town to this place at 70 kilometers. I mean, you cannot stand in that wind. We were cycling. And I was stuck. The weather was bad. It was very rainy. And there was no buses, no trains from that place to Cape Town. And taxi guy knew that I am stuck, so he was charging me 2,000 rand or something. I said, I don't have that kind of money. And then I remembered this guy Tom. I said, let me call you. And it was 3 months, I never called him. So I called him, I said, hey Tom, Sushant. And he remembered me, hey Sushant, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And after the normal chit chat, I told him that I'm stuck here now. Can you ask for some taxi guy to pick up? Just give me half an hour. And then he gives me a call. He asked me where I'm staying. I told him the backpacker hospital I'm staying. He said, okay, don't worry. I'm coming to pick you up tomorrow. And Cape Town is 300 kilometers from Cape Agalas. And on the way, there is a place called Hermanos. And it's a very, very fancy place, one of the tourist hotspots, because the whales birth there. It's a bay, sheltered bay, and it was whale watching season, and it has one of the most beautiful countrysides. And I was always thinking that I will cycle through that. So I will stay in Hermanos, enjoy Hermanos, and it's very, very expensive. But I thought it would be my last indulgence before heading to Cape Town. And so this was my plan, and everything was chopped. So next day, this guy comes at 9 o'clock in the morning, and a swanky Mercedes van. Now I am stuck in a situation, and I am just trying to get out in a taxi. This is my best solution. I cannot even ask for anything more. This is my best situation that I pay 500 rand and I am off to Cape Town. But what is happening that this guy comes in a super high-end Mercedes van, takes my cycle, and he said that I hope you are not in a hurry. I said no, I am not in a hurry. He said because I have a century-old house in Hermanos. I want you to come along with me to Hermanos. We will stay there. We will have a party, and then we'll go to Cape Town. I said fantastic. So when I could not do anything here, I was going in a Mercedes van, staying at his place. Reached there in the afternoon, had loads of beers. Then he took us around town, guided tour with him of Hermanos. Then again, fantastic dinner.
The best outcome possible.
Yeah, I mean,
from the worst situation. Right?
Yeah, I mean, even if someone asked me to write the best possible situation for something like this, I mean, I cannot write. I cannot even ask for so many things.
Correct.
And it has happened with me so many times. But I think a step towards spirituality is that if you are extremely troubled, it's not a way out. God
Exactly.
you know,
It's not an escape.
it's not an escape.
It cannot be an escape.
And it is not, you know, because you are afraid of something and then you are
Yes.
drawn to God or
Yes.
something like that. It never works like that. So the first step to spirituality, I think, is the inner peace and happiness, the bliss that you experience. बाकी सारी बात की बातें, if you are not happy within, spirituality has no business. So कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. So this is why this quest is also about, because all along the road, not just in India but across the world, I realize that people with no money, people with lot of money, they are unhappy. People with no money are very happy. People with lot of money are also happy. So happiness and bliss is a totally different ballgame, irrespective of the amount of money that you have or whatever this thing. And there are certain hurdles that all of us have to cross, and that becomes such a major issue. So I just wrote a small post about this inner Everest thing that we are on and trying to do something. And I think on my Instagram there are so many messages. They were not interested in my trying to climb Everest or something. They said, please write about your quest of inner Everest and stuff
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Because that is what troubles everyone.
Yes.
And without that, you know, life is
Also, I think at its core, spirituality is also about identity. Like the question of who am I, right? Who am I at the end of the day? Of course, there is the body, there is the emotions and feelings, there are thoughts and all of this. But who is this person that is coming out to deal with the world? I think that is also really fascinating. And everyone has their answer to that question. Everyone is looking for an answer to that question. That's something that you have
for many,
felt
this
of
is
asked.
not even a question. I think this is a very deep question which comes after a lot of philosophical deliberation.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
In my experience, limited experience, and
Yes,
whatever I'm
yes,
telling you,
yes.
not very many people.
No, it's a turning point question.
It's
right?
a turning
when
point
you
question.
when you reach that point and you say,
So there is
then it really makes you think
yeah,
what
there
you
is a
want.
turning point before that.
Yes.
That question, is this all there is to life?
Correct.
People are very busy. I mean, this people say it is God's world, it is a devil's world, because we are fighting against devil all the time. So it is not a God's world, that's for sure. I mean, it's a challenge. You have to fight Maya and get to the answer. Till the time you keep on circling round, and you will not find the answer. So I think the first breakthrough comes when you start questioning, is this all there is to life? And when you question that, okay, I have enough money, I have a beautiful wife, I have fantastic kids, but is this all there is to life? Is this all my intellect is for?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then when we start exploring that, then slowly comes this question, what is our purpose? Who am I? What am I doing? And fortunately for me, this question came very early in my life when I was just in 8th class. So like I took few good decisions and which has helped me in my life to do what I'm doing.